Hey guys, Dishonesty Magic here, and before I get to the real story here, I don't want to bury the lead, but I do have to kind of cover an announcement from Wizards, which spawned this entire news story. Also, it's interesting, to say the least. I'm gonna try to keep it to a 60-second pissed off rant over this first one. So in 2018, the 4 Pro Tours, which apparently there is a core set Pro Tour, I didn't remember, but it looks like it because there's 4 Pro Tours. The first one is in Bilbao or something like that. I don't even know where the hell that is. Richmond, Virginia, I know where that is. Minneapolis, I know where that is. Can't carry a gun there, you won't see me there. And Atlanta. So they announced the formats. Not going to go over it except for Minneapolis. They changed it to Team Trios Constructed. What the hell is that? Is it 2-headed giant, but 3-headed giant? That would be awesome, but no, it's not. No, it's much stupider. Basically, you have to bring 3 decks, and 1 is standard, 1 is modern, and 1 is legacy. So if you don't own a legacy deck, don't show up, because screw you. You have to sell your house, your car, and everything you own, buy a legacy deck, and then learn how to play with it, and then do well enough to compete in their standard tournament. The Pro Tour is standard. That's what it always has been. It's like... Okay, whether or not it actually stands for promotional tour is still heavily debated, but it basically is the promotional tour for the new set that just came out. They are set-specific tournaments. Why the hell are you telling people they can't show up without a legacy deck? Legacy decks are expensive as all hell. People who have no interest in legacy and have never played it before but qualified for the Pro Tour and want to go are going to have a problem. They're just going to build the cheapest one out there, borrow it from somebody else, and then everybody's going to sue each other over card damage. Yes, that does happen regularly. I'm not even kidding. The last one I heard about, the plaintiff won. You know it's a great, healthy, friendly format where you sue your opponent for shuffling your cards in a manner that damages them, take them to small claims court, and win. You could literally take the top card off my deck in standard and light it on fire, take the disqualification, and I probably wouldn't even care that much. I would just make you pay me about 25 cents to replace it, because let's be honest, it's one of my decks. So I think this will piss some people off, little bit. So now the natural consequence of this, like I said, is everybody's going to rush out to build, probably a cheaper side deck, something competitive but cheaper. And that's going to cause a big, spike in cards, and nothing moves in Legacy. There's no such thing as a big sudden demand for a new card in Legacy, except for maybe something like from Standard. I think Fatal Push went into some Legacy decks, and yeah, now it's like a $8, $9, $10 card or whatever it is. So, besides that, it's not like, oh, there's a big run on this one because there's a big shift in the meta in Legacy. Not really. But I don't know how many people show up to a Pro Tour. I think it's somewhere between 800 and 3,000 from what I've heard. I know it is kind of like how many tickets do they sell and how many people do they qualify and that kind of stuff. I don't get way into competitive Magic, but it's a lot of people. So let's say 10% of those people are Legacy players because, let's be honest, they're standard players. They're at the damn Pro Tour. Hello? You qualified with a damn standard deck to go to it. It doesn't even make sense. Well, now every single one of the rest of the people have to pick up a Legacy deck. That could be 700 to 2,000 something people. And they might need a play set of dual lands. Oh my god. Those things are hundreds of dollars just from 3rd edition, aka revised. Forget the alpha beta ones. Honestly, you shouldn't be playing with those. The ones that everybody play with are the much wider print run 3rd editions. But still, like I said, they're not cheap. They're hundreds of dollars. That's right, screw the plane tickets, screw the hotel stay. Your big expense for the Pro Tour is the mana base for a deck you didn't want to build or play with. Okay, I believe I said 60 seconds was the limit for the angry rant about this level of stupidity on Wizards' part, but it deserved it. This is in the top 5 stupidest decisions Wizards has ever made. Ever. Now, hopefully I'm misreading this, and they mean to say that will be a side event, but they literally said the format for Minneapolis is Team Trios Constructed, so I don't know of any other way to interpret that. Oh, asterisk, until everybody gets pissed and they change their mind about requiring people to bring $10,000 decks. You know all the stories about people getting their crap stolen at a lot of Pro Tours Grand Prix? It's gonna be like Casino Royale or something. Oh my god. Okay, the whole video will be about this if I don't drop it. I'll make a future follow-up video. So, according to random people on Reddit, which is really the most solid source of information, in the whole internet. But seriously, like, a lot of people are contributing to this and saying they're confirming they saw it. So as far as I know, this is true. It is still a rumor. I didn't personally view it, but lots of people are saying this is true. Right before the Pro Tour announcement, not after it, before, Star City Games, the biggest dishonest douchebag pile of garbage company in the history of Magic, worst seller, do not buy from them, do not sell to them, do not even talk to them if you're at an event. Those guys are scumbags. They are almost the worst group of people in the entire Magic community. Cannot stress that enough, in my opinion, by the way. They have been caught manipulating prices many times, and well, here's the latest. They randomly increased their price on Underground Sea, anything else with blue, Volcanic Island, Tundra, Tropical Island. They jacked them way up. I mean, I don't know what the price was before, but Underground Seas are now 500. I think they were like 300 to 350, but it's not really my market that I get into, but it's a lot. Now, they did up their buy list, of course, because I'm sure that's just tied together automatically or something, or it's just their policy to pay more if they're selling it for more. I mean, duh. So anyway, yeah, they appear to have had advanced information because right before the announcement was made, they upped the prices. So just think about the sheer probability that they would, with no influence from anybody else, allegedly, you know, they would just raise the prices, like spike them. Like, I heard they went up a lot, like 10, 20, 30, 40%, something on that, you know, caliber. I mean, just the odds. Like, look at how many times the prices have changed that significantly in, like, the last couple years. They just don't. So they're saying it's a coincidence. I mean, I'll read their actual statement later, but it'll just piss you off more, honestly. I haven't read all of it yet, honestly, so I don't know if they have a legit excuse. I just feel like from the first list of reasons they put, it's all just fluff and BS, and they're a bunch of liars, as usual. So let's go through what we know, and this is just what I've heard. I mean, I'm not stating this as fact, because then they can't sue me. If they do, it'll be the last mistake they ever make, I guarantee you that, because I'd love some free money from those douchebags. I'd counterclaim them so quick and get a room full of lawyers off a Kickstarter. My God, there's so many people who hate SCG, I'd put them out of business. It'd be called Desolators. What does the CG stand for? Hold on. Every time I see it, I just think Stargate Command, SGC. Oh, it'll be Desolator City Games after they're done suing me. But alas, that day will never come, because this is all my opinion and hearsay and not facts at all. Anyway, it is a well-known rumor that people from Star City's games know people from Wizards, like staff-wise. They talk, they're friends. It makes sense. They see each other at basically every single event. They have a booth there. They're buying and selling cards there. And it's not like they don't know who each other are. I mean, they're probably the biggest card seller in the world. I'm not sure if that's true or not by sheer volume. I feel like it would be MTG Mint cards, but I sell on eBay and they're just the biggest there, so I don't know. It's not like Star City reports their own, numbers. But either way, they're big. They used to hold a ton of tournaments. I heard they hold like 0 now or something. They dropped out of the GP or Pro Tour. I don't even know what's going on with that, and I don't care. The less tournaments they host, the better. Not like I love Channel Fireball, but I hate Star City Games. Now, I think it's pretty well established fact at this point, but I'm still going to say that it's a rumor because I don't know if Star City themselves have confirmed this, but they bought out a boatload of, the fetch lands, like, at some point in the past, and it was, like, to artificially spike the price. I don't remember what it was in, like, response to, but price manipulation is their thing, and they've been accused of insider trading before, but nothing has ever been proven. In fact, the last time a whole bunch of people were accused of having insider information, the Star City CEO or whatever, or owner, got all pissed, in some people's opinion, because he wasn't included in it. And it's so unfair that other vendors got inside information if it was true. I mean, awfully good acting job if this is to be believed. I mean, honestly, it looks pretty bad for them. It looks pretty black and white and cut and dry to me. It's just, like, the day before or whatever, the morning of or whatever it was, they jacked up the prices. And then, oh, look, there's a huge demand of an additional 1,000 people, each needing 4 frickin' Underground Seas. Oh, what do you know? What a lucky and fortuitous random price change that doesn't match any other website's price change. It's not like they were, like, mimicking somebody else to keep up with a market trend. So anyway, according to the original poster here on Reddit, they said that when Eternal Masters came out, and I think I heard a little bit about this, Stargate Command, I'm just going to keep calling them that. They bought up a whole bunch of reserve list cards and then dumped off a whole bunch of cards that were going to be reprinted in Eternal Masters. And they seem to have done it really, really accurately, like almost as if they had a full list of EMA. Come to think of it, that might have actually been the set that people were complaining about. I don't remember. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to buy reserve list cards because, duh, they're not going to put reserve list cards in Eternal Masters, and then take every staple that you think they might put in Eternal Masters and sell it off just in case, because you can rebuy it if it's not in there, or maybe if it's not in there, it would price spike, so that wouldn't be a very good idea. But I don't know, that one's, it's a little shaky, but given their past history, how they do business, and how they've manipulated the market in the past, allegedly, yeah, everybody believed that they had a full list of EMA way ahead of time. Now, the third point, besides, okay, they all buddy and know each other, and they've been accused of this before, and it's been almost proven. Part 3 is somebody somewhere got an uncut foil sheet of Ixalan. Who? We don't know. I mean, who would Wizard send it to? Because I'm pretty sure people have confirmed that it wasn't somebody at the printing facility that walked off with it, because it was curled up. Originally I made a mistake on Twitter and said it wasn't curled at all. I was looking at the wrong picture. It was curled up, and it was clearly then, because of that, probably shipped in a like cardboard shipping tube that you put posters in. So considering, I doubt it was a staff member at Wizards, although that's, you know, it's possible, because that's who would have a proof sheet to make sure that the ink all looks correct and the art looks correct, duh. But I think that it was a vendor. I mean, would they just send them a digital list instead? Just like, no artwork, no card names, just here's what the cards do, and here's the mana cost, adjust accordingly to make the most amount of money because we like you because you sell the most, you know, cards or whatever. That's what everybody thinks is going on with the insider trading collusion thing. So those are 3 pretty damn strong pieces of evidence, kind of loose but kind of strong, that indicate that Star City Games, or Stargate Command, whatever you want to call them, is up to some shenanigans. So somebody with a Star City Games logo as their profile manager thing, I guess, I think he called himself the general manager of Stargate Command. His name is Ben Bleiweiss or something like that. So whoever that is, he replied, and he got like a boatload of, I don't know, points or upvotes, or I don't use Reddit. I don't know how any of that crap works. He's the first reply. He says, and here I was about to go on my first multi-week vacation of the past 14 years. I'll be around today to answer questions about this, so hit me up before I head on a flight tomorrow morning. Okay, lot going on with that sentence. Did he really reschedule his flight to the next morning, or is he just complaining that more accusations of their shenanigans are coming up and he wanted to take a mini vacation before his vacation? Or I don't know, whatever. He just sounds like a douchebag. He just comes across as an arrogant, rich, entitled piece of crap. I haven't had a vacation day since ever, so shut the hell up. God, I wish my job was to just post sarcastic comments on Reddit all day. Boy, that would be a pretty easy job, wouldn't it? I assume he does other things, but I assume they're also not that hard. So, point number 1. Yes, he actually put bullet points with numbers or whatever. We, Stargate Command, had no insider information or foresight into any PT changes that were upcoming. Well, there you go. It just dispels it all. He said they didn't. Not explaining why they upped the price. Not anything. No counter evidence. Just, oh, we didn't do it. You know, like every criminal ever. I didn't do it, officer. It wasn't me. I mean, yeah, you have a picture of me holding the stolen goods, but it wasn't me. Well, I guess you gotta let him go then, don't you? You better keep writing, Ben. Point number 2. I, Ben, do 100% of the business-to-business buying for Star City Games. Hey, by the way, on that point, everybody stop doing business with this douchebag. He is obviously, the rumor is, trying to rip everybody off and manipulate markets and all this crap. Stop selling to him. It's just like Card Kingdom. You can only buy 8 of the same card at a time from Card Kingdom. You go over to like TCG or Card Shark, you can buy 500 of a card. They're supporting buyouts. Card Shark decided to do something about it. So, other large sellers and business owners, stop buying and selling from Ben. Oh my God, what the hell is wrong with you people? I have canceled orders suspected of being from certain vendors and people that I do not sell to, and just outright canceled them with no warning. I just said, screw you. You either live way the hell too close to this person, you share a name or initials with them, or something else. So, bye-bye. Not selling to you, not participating in your crap. So can we all start doing that? Can we agree to do that maybe? I won't rest until Star City Games is out of business. I hate them. Anyway, he says, I've bought one dual land, a foreign black bordered one, by the way, over the past 6 months in order to get a scan for our FBB cards. We didn't have the image. There is so much wrong with that sentence, I'm not even going to outline it. Fill in the gaps yourself. Every other dual land we've purchased since the beginning of the year has been through the buy list in person from customers at events. Didn't he just say he only bought one? Anyway, so between all their sources, they bought a couple. That doesn't mean anything. Why did you spike the price before the announcement? Disprove that. I mean, buying them all up and raising the prices are two completely different things. I mean, they both indicate, okay, we think there's going to be a demand for it. But other than that, I mean, they're two completely different things. Number 3, while the timing is unfortunate, oh, let me stop you right there, Ben. Shut the hell up. Nobody believes this was a pleasant coincidence. Anyway, he says, what can be confirmed by people who watch our prices is that I've been working chronologically from alpha over the past few weeks to update all of our website pricing on old sets. Okay. If you found that a 3rd edition Underground Sea, or whatever the hell the cards are called, I already forgot, I don't play with the damn cards. Yeah, Underground Sea. If you found that you had them at 300 or 400 and the right price was 500 according to the market, but you just kind of did them in order, because he says like June 23rd, June 26th, and then June 27th, and then July 13th. A little bit of a gap there. Like, that's the order that he changed the prices in. You can change all your prices in one day. You just look them up at your competitors, check a couple index sites, look on eBay, and hit change price. I mean, I do that to all of my eBay listings daily. It's not that hard. And 2, something that freaking expensive, you're going to let that float with the wrong price? Like, if everybody else is 500 and you're just market correcting to 500, you would do it immediately. In fact, you would do it when you realize, oh my God, they're off by $150 or whatever. Everybody buy every single copy they own. No, this isn't a price fix. That's probably the worst sentence I could have used, because they're fixing prices. But this is not a correction of the price. This is them spiking a price because of insider information, in my opinion. That's what everybody's trying to pin on them. So he says, I believe there are a large number of people who track our price changes on the website and can confirm that there were price changes, mostly increases, but a couple of price drops on those dates for those sets. I mean, okay, but maybe you just had even more advanced information about this announcement. You knew that all of a sudden 1,000 people are going to need legacy decks, and you just raised all the prices steadily over time to make it look less suspicious. And then they said that the big gaps in time were due to, I don't know, some kind of event they were running or set releases, whatever. It kind of makes sense. You're busy card sorting. Probably not him personally, though. But then, like, the day before, boom, 3rd edition, the one that everybody would go after. That really doesn't make a damn ounce of sense. It's almost like they were like, oh, crap, they're actually going to announce it. Oh, my God. And then they, like, finally got the last one done. I mean, that's the way I see it. Now, point number 4 is a little bit interesting. He says, I raised the price on similar margins on several other cards that are legal in Vintage but banned in Legacy, such as all 5 Moxen. Never heard that term. I mean, they do start with the word Mox, but you can't just say, oh, it must work like oxen. Let's just say Moxen. I've heard people say the other jewelry. That makes way more sense. Anyway, he says, you know, the Time Twister, Time Walk, Mishra's Workshop, all of which went up 25 to 40%. And you can confirm it and blah, blah, blah. But that could have just been cover. I mean, that's kind of stretching the conspiracy a little bit thin here. But that could have been cover for the one that they knew would actually sell. So his 5th point is, I've done the math before, but the gist of it is the gold standard of magic value are the power 9. Dual lands are the silver standard. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta correct that too. This guy is so full of crap. I mean, it's like, he's either the stupidest person I've ever met. Well, I've never met him. Or he's just talking completely out his ass. Power 9 are collectibles because nobody plays Vintage and only crazy people play without proxies. I mean, at official tournaments, okay, but other than that, dual lands from 3rd edition, people actually play with. So one's not the gold standard, one's a silver standard, one is a collectible, and one is played. And that's a generalization. I'm not saying nobody plays with the other Power 9, but, you know. So then he says, oh, when the price of Power 9 rises, the price of dual lands usually go up with them. Wrong. I mean, it's not like I track these prices professionally, but that just cannot possibly be true. They cannot be that linear because they don't really go index together. I mean, I suppose if your like vintage deck has a Power 9 in it, then maybe it also has dual lands, so I kind of get that. But what people actually play is Legacy. And I don't have hard numbers on vintage versus Legacy, just rumor. I mean, but it just sounds to me like that's such a load of crap. They are completely unrelated prices. So he basically ends up saying, yeah, so we up Power 9, so we up the dual lands too. Well, first of all, why didn't you do it all on the same day? I still am waiting for the explanation of that. And what about the most playable ones the day before the announcement? Or 2 days ahead of time? Number 6, and I'm already sick of reading this nonsense. While from an optic perspective, whatever that means, the timing on this was unfortunate. I've never had a problem being transparent with the community when SCG is moving on a card. Yeah, that's the thing. I think they were perfectly transparent about what they were doing to manipulate the prices in the past. Doesn't make people any less pissed off. It just lets people dump on the market and lose them money, so it exposes them to people counteracting their crap. Anyway, he says the same thing applies here as it applies to all cases. We buy based on the supply-demand curve. Yeah, with advanced information. Yeah, the demand curve. Like before it even happens. Number 7. There's a reason you haven't seen other post-revised reserve list cards spike at SCG. The revised dual land price spike was a result of pricing order, and not because we were looking to raise the price on all legacy staples. See, that, again, doesn't really make sense logically. That wouldn't be a very good business decision. Anyway, again, this can be confirmed by people who watch our prices. There shouldn't have been any significant price changes over the past few weeks on other reserve list cards that were from Ice Age through Urza's Destiny. I mean, it doesn't really get you out of the accusation, though. Oh, we didn't just jack up everything across the board, because that would be too damn obvious and people might catch us. We just did the most likely to sell, which in any Magic format is the mana base. If anything, what he said just outlines that they were trying to be sneaky about it and do a buyout with, bad or good information, not bad information. God, if I was at Wizards, I would feed them blatant lies. I would just be like, oh, we're about to reprint this. Oh, or we're about to abolish the reserve list. You better unload everything. And then, oh, we changed our minds. Sorry, I just lost a couple million. Sorry about that. Number 8. As always, Stargate Command is in favor of abolishing the reserve list. Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. They hold so much reserve list crap. As soon as they announced it, they would lose millions. Millions with an S in my estimate. Then he says the ludicrous lie, we'd rather sell 4 Underground Sea for 100 than 1 for 400. More people playing equals more cards sold equals better health for the game long term. Let me translate that into a business meme, because it is a meme at this point. It is a joke. It is meant completely sarcastically. Oh, we're losing a 50% margin on every single one of these products we sell. What do? We'll just make up for it with volume. By the way, if you're not a business person, the more you sell, the more you lose. These people are idiots. They bought the damn cards at some point. What the hell do they care about the health of the freaking game if they're losing like $300 a piece? Actually, in this example, more like $1,000 on the cards that they bought for like $200-300 cash from people. Oh my God. Oh, it'll pay off in the long run because health of the game. Will lose money on the Underground Seas, but we'll make a whole bunch of money on the other staples that also just got abolished with the reserve list. That is the stupidest statement. It just really indicates how this guy is just willing to lie, because that is just a blatant lie. It just isn't true. They would not rather sell 4 Underground Sea for $100 total instead of 1 for 400. Trust me, they would lose a little bit of money on that. They do not want to do that. That's at least my best guess on the scenario as a business person. God, this guy's such a lying piece of garbage. So then he goes on to say, oh, I believe Wizards of the Coast made it abundantly clear that they aren't even willing to address the reserve list at this time, which is not true. That is not what they said. But if they were, I'd be happy to lead the charge in favor of getting rid of it. No, you wouldn't. Shut up. You're lying. You're an idiot. And then, of course, he closes with, happy to answer any questions anyone may have. I should be around the rest of today. I've got a question, Ben, or whatever the hell your name is. Let me scroll. Yeah, it is Ben. Hey, I actually remembered. And really, this is the only question worth asking, Ben. Ben, do you really think that anybody's going to believe this load of horse shit? So I will say that with the evidence he posted, besides his blatant lies and other crap he threw into this, if you just take the data, just assuming that what he said is completely correct and the prices changed exactly in gaps and really slowly for no apparent reason, if you buy into all that, it does seem like a legitimate excuse. So I will leave the door open to it just being an unfortunate timing thing, because he can kind of prove that they did alpha, then beta, then Arabian, and in order. Maybe they hit the most valuable ones first and then cascaded down. I still don't see why they couldn't just update 5 card prices or 10 or however many are out there in one day. It's not that hard. Why they were leaving a gap. It's almost like they were leaving a gap on purpose to not draw attention to themselves and plausible deniability and all that stuff. I don't know. It just seems shaky to me, but I'm not saying that 100% they are guilty of getting insider information from some source somewhere. But the last piece of evidence that I didn't want to mention before is Wizards of the Coast staff members do not get paid very much, according to every bit of data I've ever seen. They get underpaid for industry standard prices. So everybody from IT to management, well, actually probably not management, but everybody else gets way underpaid and they're not happy about it. At least a lot of people on Glassdoor and a lot of public tax information, I think, or something like that, really indicated that the people don't get paid enough. Kind of weird considering the level of money that they've been raking in since Return to Ravnica. Very, very, very strange. I mean, Puzzle Quest was a huge hit. That game is awesome, and they're making a whatever percent cut off the licensing. So, I mean, they've been making money like crazy. There's no reason that they can't pay people more money. I mean, look at Google and Microsoft. If you're worth it, they will pay you more, and they will offer to snipe you from the competitor by paying you more. I mean, they will pay for talent. I don't know why Wizards has such trouble doing that. It's not like they're hard up for money. So here you go. You got somebody who's been working at a job for a couple of years, we'll say, at Wizards, and they're involved in card design or announcements or decisions or writing the announcements or just some high level enough thing that they don't get paid enough for their job. They're probably pissed about it, but they like the power, they like the job, they don't want to work somewhere else. And then somebody who has millions of dollars from Star City Games says, hey, we'll give you X amount of $1,000, which is, a lot if you only make $70K there, to give us insider information that will pay off by making us way more than that. It's a business decision. It's, there you go, paying for information. I mean, if it wasn't so shady, people pay for information all the time and buy patents and stuff, and it's just whatever. It's just a business decision. So I am absolutely not saying that went on, but I am saying that the framework is there, the possibility is there. And I got to go back to it. Who the hell leaked an entire foil uncut sheet? Who had one? How did that get somewhere? Because it had to originate from Wizards. I mean, it almost had to have, unless the printing people shipped it to the wrong place or somebody robbed the UPS truck or something. I mean, there's very few scenarios that don't involve Wizards sending that sheet to someone and then they leaked a picture of it. So it's already deeply suspected that somebody at Wizards sent a sheet of Ixalan to someone. Who sent it? Who received it? We don't know, but basically information was exchanged and there it is. So, I mean, it could have been an all insider thing and it was an employee and they already caught him and fired him, or maybe they didn't, but it still was an inside job. I don't know. But the motivation when you're that underpaid is very high, because I was underpaid at my first job, and until I threatened to quit, they wouldn't give me a raise. So I've been there. I was pretty pissed off on a daily basis. It started to affect my work. Trust me. I had zero respect for the company when they were paying me under 30 grand to be the CIO of the company. And I have 2 college degrees and at the time 7 years experience. That's ridiculous. Also, I saved the company more than they paid me in a year. Also, when somebody quit, I took over their entire job temporarily. So could there have been some bribery pay for information? Yeah, it certainly could have happened. It's a possibility. And that would explain this leak. And then, what would you do? That's what I would say to finish this off. If you ran a giant card conglomerate and you just lost, honestly, probably a million or a good fraction of a million on Amonkhet because it's worthless, would you, if you got insider information from somebody, try to cover it up? How would you do it? Well, I would start with alpha, raise the price way back in June, then go to beta, then move my way up, and then finally hit 3rd edition, which is the one that we know will sell. That way it looks like a trend. It looks like some kind of thing we were doing over time. We're jacking up the prices for no reason, has nothing to do with the sales numbers, although he said differently. And look, plausible deniability. Whoops, yeah, it happened the day before. Oops. I guess that's just a happy coincidence. There's no... What does Bob Ross say? Just imagine whatever he said. I'm sure that's relevant. Something about happy accidents. I don't remember. Well, I hope the ghost of Bob Ross haunts the hell out of SCG, because that would be awesome. Seriously, he could come back from the grave and take like ectoplasm and paint "Screw You, Star City Games" like on one of their walls. That would be amazing. I think this video has gone off the rails a bit. So what do you think? Is that a perfectly plausible explanation and you completely buy into it? Are you kind of suspicious but you're not sure? Or are you adamantly completely sure that something shady is going on? Not to skew it or bias it or anything, but they were accused of doing the exact same thing with Eternal Masters. Honestly, the evidence for that one was even stronger. So the whole, oh, fool me twice, shame on you, you've done it before, past offender, maybe. That's what I can't get past. That's why I'm so absolutely toward the side of I'm about 85% sure that some kind of weird exchange of information and manipulation was going on. So at this point, the only thing I can hope for is that they get at Wizards so many complaints about having to show up to a damn Pro Tour with a legacy deck to even compete at all that Wizards just cancels it. They just say, screw it, we're just going to do standard draft constructed. That's it. Oh, by the way, silver lining, they're bringing Modern back to the Pro Tour. Who saw that coming? Actually, they're going to have Modern add Bilbao too. Pretty sweet. I mean, Modern's doing better than it was a year or two ago, so yeah, why not? I think maybe they just realized that Modern Masters makes money. Yeah, Wizards, maybe you shouldn't try to kill the format that is like second after Standard. So anyway, let me know what you think about this. If there's any evidence that I missed or misstated or anything, because honestly, I don't care. I don't follow pro play. I'm just going off of what other people said and kind of skimming. But the overall theme makes sense to me. It seems like on Reddit, quite a few of the repliers are like, oh, that's a reasonable excuse or whatever, and they just went with it. Not everybody, but a lot of people. So I don't know. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of this. Clearly, these people don't know Star City Games history then, though. So yeah, hopefully the next video will be a little bit happier. I'll see you guys next video.